So it came about in a number of ways. Like both him and I are very competitive. So what we've kind of described is he has some experience where I don't have a lot of experience, and I needed to learn a lot. And so what we discussed is we would build a car together. I would learn a lot from the build in itself, and then I would transition into a driver, learning a lot from Bill. So we've accelerated that plan quite a bit, and to the point where this year I was supposed to be driving exclusively, and Bill would be my co-driver to kind of help with the transition. But we ripped the Band-Aid off, and because of the opportunities, we decided that I'm going to drive full-time with a new co-driver, and Bill would drive a new car. So that's how it all came about. So what we've done a little differently is think about our suspension. I mean, for the last 2 years, we've been running reverse triangulated suspension, trying to tune within the I would say the parameters of what stock class is all about, and tried to really take it to the edge. Work with our sponsors to figure out, what could we do better. So we've taken all those learnings, and some of it is definitely, we've taken pre-production parts and actually turned those into production parts with our sponsors. So it's definitely helped us, but I also think it's going to definitely help the community. It's funny that you should say that, because I used to race RC cars. Before Bill and I met, we never knew that. So we've had a lot of very similar competitive things in common that we didn't know about until we met. And we met in a very trying time for myself. My dad was diagnosed with lung cancer that year. I was in the middle of a Jeep build, of my personal Jeep. I've noticed Bill built a Jeep that he was driving and participating in Moab with 40s, and I was deciding whether or not, what do I want to do with my build? So him and I had a discussion, and one thing led to another, and we became really close friends because of that, because of our similar styles, and we're still getting to know each other, but I love him like a brother, and opportunities and things happen for a reason, and I think this happened for a reason. I'm really looking forward to seeing where we can push the envelope in the off-road community for stock Jeeps. That's kind of one of the things I really look forward to, is this actually seeing a product going from our race Jeeps to kind of the everyday end user and community of a Jeep.
Can you explain a little bit about that feeling when you're lined up and you're clicking in your harnesses for the last time, like kind of what's going through your head or your thought process, or what kind of mindset you try and put yourself into?
Wow, I kind of can't describe it because I can't remember it. I mean, it's the first experience is totally surreal. We planned so much, we worked so hard, we talked so much about it, and when we get to actual race day, it becomes actually a blur. I think we get in the zone. We know the roles and responsibilities. We know the end game for this, right? We know we want to win, or at least try our hardest. So every single race we try our hardest. And our goal is, no matter how we end up in every single race, we put our best foot forward, and that's what I most look forward to, right? Is building a stronger relationship. I think it gave me an advantage. I remember being in 7th grade, getting my first Tamiya Midnight Pumpkin RC car, and the first thing I could think of is, I'll build it. It's great, but how can I win? Like, I used to race with my neighbors. They used to have the baddest RC cars, the fastest RC cars, the one with more technology in it. And being in 7th grade, having a little budget with your parents is, how can I make this better? So what I used to do is figure out the suspension. How can I take the jumps more better? How can I gain the momentum around turns based on suspension? So taking that mentality and moving it into something more real and 10 times heavier, it just seemed natural. Bill and I had never had a relationship in RC cars. We never met at that level. But what we found is building something to scale at a level that is, people strive to do every day within a budget is something we had in common. So I mean, stock class for us was a perfect platform for us to get into racing. And like I said, him and I over a couple of beers one day after recently meeting, not recently, but a few years meeting, it was magic from a racing standpoint. So, you know, learning about RC cars that we had something in common later was just a bonus. So we've kind of taken that and moved it into sort of the actual real scale platform. As far as this being ready, it's pretty much race ready. There's some minor things that we have to get done, but other than that, it's a go, and it's proven over the last 2 years. So, as a whole, I would consider this the Super Bowl of off-road racing. It's the biggest thrill and something I look forward to every single year, not only for myself but just for the rest of the team. Just to experience it is very surreal. Watching tons and tons of videos, I wish I could do that someday. You know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago actually, I was sitting there watching some videos going, man, I wish I could do that. And today, going on year 3 of racing, I'm actually a competitor, I'm driving. I can't describe that as, you know, any better feeling and challenge right now. I want to thank first and foremost my family, my wife, my children that have really put up with me, that really support me and are super excited about our racing. And then, you know, on the same level, I want to thank Bill Schultz for believing in me. And, you know, him and I have put a lot of time and effort and resources into building this team together. And I can't thank him enough for giving me this opportunity to be able to do this. It's a dream of mine, and you know, it's almost going to put me to kind of tears to this, but you know, without him, I don't think I would be able to experience this. And without my wife, you know, fully supporting me, I mean, this is just, you know, the best situation possible, and I love it, and I love them, and I love this. I mean, what you're seeing behind us is real. We have ups and downs, right? But you know, end of the day, we come together, and it's the best feeling in the world. So.